Hello and welcome to All Things ArcheAge, Episode 2. I am FlyMullo, and today I'm going to be talking about skill trees as requested by Cameron Suki. If you have anything you'd like me to take a look at in ArcheAge, please leave a comment. Now today I'm going to be looking at the game itself, but I'll also be referring to two websites which are linked below in the description. The first is the ArcheAge wiki found at gamepedia.com. The second is a good character generator found at archbase.com, archbase.com, with a hyphen. It's linked below. When you first create a character, you'll choose a skill set. Now, this is not the same as choosing a class. Your class will actually be determined as you progress. One thing you should be aware of right up front is that no decisions made in ArcheAge are final, meaning that you don't need to stress out about choosing the wrong skills or jacking up your character before you have a chance to experience the game. Now, anyone who's played a game like Dungeons & Dragons online extensively will really appreciate this fact. Now, one thing that I will say for new players is that it is very difficult to start out in this game with a healing or defensive set. I strongly recommend starting out with a damaging set like Sorcery or Battle Rage so that you can progress easier in the early levels. Now, at any given time in the game, you'll be using 3 skill sets, and you must pick your first one during character creation. You'll get your second one at level 5 and your third at level 10. Once you've chosen your third skill set, your class will have been determined. If we take a look at the wiki, it lists the first skill set combo as Battle Rage, Witchcraft, and Defense, and the class name is Hexblade. If you choose Auramancy instead of Defense, you'll be a Hex Warden. My elf has Auramancy, Sorcery, and Vitalism, so he's a Bone Weaver. Now on the right are the base stats for each class, which appear to act primarily as a guide for what you should focus on with your chosen class combination. While I have not progressed very far in the game, I have yet to see where these base stats actually affect anything that I do, nor can I find any significant discussion on the base stats online. Now that said, if you choose Auramancy, Occultism, and Sorcery, the base stats are letting you know that you're going to be doing a lot of magic damage, and if you want to be a melee fighter, then you chose the wrong combination. Now, the first thing to know about skill sets is that they level based upon your use of them within the game. This can throw new players off at first because when you get your second skill set at level 5, both of your skill sets will be level 5, and when you get your third at level 10, both will be level 10, and they will progress in levels as you level. However, skill sets that you do not use will remain level 10 until you use them. So if you swap a skill set at level 25, the one you remove will be level 25, and the one you gain will only be level 10. Here I am at a skill manager. When I click on him, I can change out any skill for any other skill. You can see that Vitalism, Auramancy, and Sorcery are all level 15, while any of the other 7 skill sets I changed to are only level 10. Now this does not mean that if you want to play multiple skill sets at higher level, you should try to level all of them as you go. Let me explain why. In each skill set, there are 11 combat abilities on the left. These abilities will gain rank as you level, so if you are level 25 and you are using a new ability in a new skill set, even though the skill set is level 10, the rank of your ability will be the appropriate rank for your level. Now that said, you will not have access to many of the skills within the set. If we look at the builder at archbase.com, we can see what level the skill set must be in order to use each ability. So with a level 10 skill set, you can use any of the top 3 abilities. In order to use the archery ability Eagle Claw, the skill set needs to be ranked at level 15. Sharpened Arrow requires level 20, and so on. So if I never play archery until I'm level 50, when I swap it in, I will only have access to the first 3 abilities, but those abilities will be ranked appropriately for level 50. And as I continue to play archery, it will level up and I will open new abilities as it does. Now, one caveat to this is that once you've completed all storyline quests in ArcheAge, you gain experience at a much slower rate, meaning that trying to level new skill sets at level 50 can be quite the grind. Now over on the right side of the skill sets are the passive skills, and these are quite powerful. For example, Premonition gives an additional 14% chance to evade against ranged attacks. Now, the passive abilities are opened up based on how many points you've spent in a tree. So if you've spent 7 points anywhere in the archery tree, including on the other passive abilities, you will have access to Eagle Eye. Now, one major difference between ArcheAge and other games is that these abilities are in no way dependent on any type of ability progression. Each ability costs 1 skill point and can be taken in any order. Passive abilities can also be taken in any order as long as you meet the point requirement. So if I have level 50 archery, I can choose to take only survival instinct and spend my remaining points in the other sets. At level 50, I'll have a total of 23 points to spend over all 3 of my skill sets, and there are 16 abilities in each set. Now, if all I really wanted was Eagle Eye, I'm out of luck. I would need to spend 7 points elsewhere in the tree in order to get it. Now, one thing I should mention about the Skillsets at archbase.com is that the names of the sets and the powers do not match in the game. The symbols are correct, as are the ability descriptions, but the names of the powers and skill sets themselves are not. So, where in-game there is a skill set called Battle Rage, at the ArchBase Builder the same set is called Combat. Now, due to the state of localization in the current alpha, there are all kinds of discrepancies like this all over the place online, but I'm sure most of these will be cleared up the closer we get to launch. Now, the reason I like the builder at archbase.com is because of the extra features. At the top, there is a tab that shows your base stats. Now, prior to the ArcheAge launch in Korea, the developers were sort of making a big deal out of this grid. What it actually does is refer back to the base stats we saw for the classes on the wiki. There's physical damage, magic damage, defense, curses, and buffs. The outside ring on the chart is the maximum you can get in any category, 12. The black ring is what you actually have, and the inside rings are what your individual skill sets are contributing. The skill set score from each category will add up to the black number on the chart. The problems with ArchBase are obvious from looking at it, the primary one being that the points on the pentagram are not labeled. If they were labeled as physical damage, magic damage, etc., they probably would actually be labeled incorrectly. The names of these categories change depending on what reference you are using, and if one of these charts exists anywhere in the ArcheAge game itself, I have not been able to find it. So the moral of this story is that you shouldn't even worry about this chart at this point, and if you are worried about it, just refer back to the chart on the wiki, which shows much more clearly how skilled you are in each category. Now, where the ArchBase Builder shines is in the third tab, the combos. When you hover over an ability in-game, it will show you the combo potentials that you have with it. Many abilities will combo when used with other abilities, including abilities from other skill sets. So, for example, my Antithesis ability from the Vitalism skill set has a 1-second cast time. However, if I have my Conversion Shield up from the Oromancy skill set, Antithesis will be instantly cast. And the game tells me this in the description of Antithesis. But the problem is that it is really difficult within the game to see the symbols and recognize them within the other skill sets in order to try and figure out how you want to play the build. Now, the game will direct you just a bit as you level by encouraging you to take skill sets that play well with the ones you already have, but finding the combos can still be challenging. Now, it is much easier to do on archbase.com, where everything is larger and easier to see. On top of this, once I've chosen several abilities, the Combo tab will show me all of the combos which I have available based on those selections, in order to end any confusion. Now again, you never need to worry about screwing things up as you go, although as I mentioned earlier, it is easier to level skill sets while you level your character, since there is an abundance of story quests that will help the process. Still, at any point, you can change the points you've spent in an individual skill set right within your skill window by paying a small amount of money in-game. For me right now, it's just 20 silver. You can also speak with a skill manager and swap out a skill set for 30 silver. The price did not go up for me once I had done so either. Now, whether or not the price goes up as you level, I'm not really certain, but at level 15, the prices are very reasonable and easy to afford. Now, if you swap back into a previously used skill set, it will be set to 0 skill points spent, so you'll have a clean slate to work with, although the level will be the same as when you dropped it. And that's it for the discussion on skill sets in ArcheAge. Please feel free to leave comments on this video, questions regarding skill sets, or requests for discussion topics on future videos. I will do the topics you want me to do. And thank you very much for watching All Things ArcheAge, and have a great day.